how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we're going to be uploading videos every Monday and Thursday, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the bell below to get notified whenever we're uploading new videos. So to answer your question, Lee, I want you to read, drum roll please, this book right here. I hope that that is a short book because I know you were wanting to read a short book, so to get a little break from the fantasy stuff. So hope you enjoy that one. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video. Lee, I'm gonna ask you a question. For now, we're gonna jump into today's video. Today, I wanted to show y'all my disc collection. We're gonna do a in the bag video, kind of show y'all everything that I'm throwing with at the moment when I go out to the courses. We'll start off with like my putters. We'll go through, I have a couple of mid-ranges, and then we'll end off on my drivers. So if disc golf is something that you're interested in, which I hope it is, because if not, you're probably in the wrong place, then stick around. We're gonna start off with my probably favorite putter that I have. This is an XT AVR. I might show y'all the stats if I can zoom in on them. This putter, it's just a pretty standard. It's the most popular putter in disc golf. It's just a good straight flying, straight into the basket, and I like it a lot. This has been really consistent with me since I started playing. Really, my first starter set that I got back in like March had an AVR in it, so I'm really comfortable throwing these on the green, and I think I'll always have one in my bag. Next, we've got a very similar disc by Gateway. I don't know the actual name of it, but if y'all can see here, it's got little teddy bears on it. Because this is actually Lee's disc. I keep it in my bag while we're playing and stuff. So, but it's got the same stats as the AVR. Flies really well. I've landed some pretty cool putts with this disc. The next two putters that I've got are definitely different than the first two. This is my RPro Pig. This one flies a little faster. I use it more for like approaching the basket as opposed to actually throwing it in. Specifically, I like throwing it with my sidearm. It's got that really kind of like flat profile, and I really like how it feels when I'm gripping it on the forehand. Say I'm like straddled like behind a tree or something, I'll just step to the side and then give it a nice forehand, and it flies pretty well. I like it. After that, we've got my overstable slammer putter from Dynamic Discs, and this is pretty similar stat-wise to the Pig, with a little more glide on it, so it's going to fly farther in the air. And I like this putter a lot. This is more of an approach disc for me as well. I don't really use it to throw into the basket that often, unless I've got like a really crazy angle that I'm trying to achieve. I can get this one about 100, 150 feet, and it goes where I want it to most of the time. So that's all my putters. We'll move on to my mid-ranges now. This is my RPro Skeeter. This is a very new disc in my bag. It feels really nice in my hand, and I like the plastic as well. I like how it kind of meshes like that. I haven't really had a chance to throw it that much yet. I've only been out on the course once since I bought this disc. I like how it flies. It's definitely a bit of a straight flyer. Never really hyzers at all. If I'm throwing it straight out of my hand, it'll almost always put on a little turnover angle. And since I'm left-handed, that means it'll go to the left. So I always have to keep that in mind when I'm throwing it. But I'm excited to keep throwing this disc and see how it flies. On the other side of the spectrum for mid-ranges, I've got the Crutch from Dynamic Discs. And this is also a Speed 5, but the big difference with this one is it's a very straight flyer, and it'll always fade to the right when I'm throwing it. So this is really good if I just got like either like a nice open fairway that I'm trying to get through, or if I need to like fade to the right on a shot or something like that. It's really good for that. When I threw it at the course last weekend, this got 200 feet easily, which is pretty far for me because I'm pretty new to the sport still. I've only been playing about 9 months or so, and I'm still working on my power. Really solid disc, and I'm excited to keep throwing that one as well. From there, we're going to go into my drivers. So this is the first driver I've got. This is a Champion Eagle. This is a really solid disc just for getting down the fairway. Pretty similar to my mid-range, except that it's a little faster and it's got more turn on it. So whenever I'm throwing it, it'll always fade to the right pretty much. I usually just kind of use it for straight shots in an open area, and it's a good disc. I like it. From there, we've got, this is my newest driver in my bag. This is a River by Latitude 64. And I haven't really got a chance to throw this one much either, only a couple of times. It's definitely more understable than like the Eagle, for example. Whenever it comes out of my hand, if it comes out on an angle like this, it'll almost always flatten out like immediately, and then maybe even do a little bit of a turnover angle, but usually it'll always finish at that hyzer angle. This will be really good for like flex shots, I think. I'm not very good at those at the moment. I'm going to practice with that disc a little more, and hopefully I'll get better at my flex shots. Similarly to the River, we've got the Thunderbird. Going by like stats and just how it like feels in my hand, I would say this is pretty similar to the River. It's really good for flex shots. I usually use this if I'm trying to like work on my backhand, because I'm a very forehand dominant player off the tee. I really like throwing like huge bombers of forehands. This, oh, I dropped it. This disc is going to be good for me practicing just throwing backhands as hard as I can with as much accuracy as possible. So I'm excited to keep using that one. Next up, we've got probably my favorite disc in my bag, and definitely the oldest in my bag. This is a Star Destroyer. Speed of 12, so pretty average distance driver. I would say it's one of the most popular distance drivers, especially for Innova, which is probably my favorite brand that I usually go with. This one is great for when I'm throwing just really nice forehands off the tee. It's a very overstable disc, so it'll keep its angle whatever I throw it at. And usually I like to throw this at a pretty straight or maybe a slight hyzer angle, and it'll keep flat and go pretty much where I want it to. Very, very good disc, and I will probably always have one in my bag. And finally, we've got my Champion Shriek. This is definitely the fastest disc in my bag, with a speed of 13 and a glide of 6. And I really like this one for the forehand as well. When I originally got it, I was getting it to practice my backhand, but since my backhand isn't really at that level to really control a speed 13 disc yet, I really like using it for flex forehand shots. It'll come out of my hand, and it's, I would say, a pretty neutral stability. So it'll come up and just kind of stay like this and just glide in the air for a long time. And I've been able to get shots like anywhere between 300 and 350 feet off the tee with this, and like throwing a forehand. Definitely a really solid disc, and I'm excited to keep using it. With that, that is all of the discs in my bag. I've only got, let's see, how many do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 11 discs here, which is a pretty solid amount, I would say. A lot of pros will have like 20 discs in their bag or something like that. For the amount of playing that I'm doing right now at the level that I'm at, I would say that's a pretty solid amount, but I'm always looking for new discs, so if any of y'all happen to be... If any of y'all happen to be disc golf enthusiasts like myself, just leave a comment below if you have like a disc that you want me to check out or anything like that, or if there's like a course that you want me to check out, leave that in the comments below as well. I live in like the Houston area, so any courses around here, I'd be down to check out. Which actually leads me into the question for you, Lee. I want you to decide where I play next. You can look up courses around the Houston area. I know we've been to a few, so if you remember any of the names of those, just make sure to put that in your video for next time, and I'm excited to see where I'll be playing next. With that being said, I think I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching. As always, check out Lee's new video on Thursday, and I will see y'all next Monday.